listening to Happy People Cast. I'm Sophia Levin, and today I am talking to Vanessa Stubbs from Subversive Sisters. And this is your trigger warning. If you have a problem with swearing, you should probably just stop listening to this episode right now. And hi, Vanessa. How are
Hey,
you?
I am excellent. How is it going on your end?
I am so excited. So great.
Good.
I,
Fantastic. Fantastic.
so I would love for you to introduce yourself the way that you want to be introduced. Just tell us what you do, what this Subversive Sisters business is, and we'll take it from there.
Great. Sounds easy enough. So my name is Vanessa, and I started this business, Subversive Sisters. It was a little bit out of boredom, but also just for something to do with my trashy mouth. And I say that most respectfully about myself. But yeah, so I really am just trying to keep people laughing with kind of blending two worlds of, your Nan's decor that kind of sits in everyone's attics and collects dust. And I'm trying to get it back into people's houses. And for some reason, putting the word cunt on that allows me to do so. I don't make the rules, I just break them. But yeah, we have I have a ton of fun with it. And I hope to keep people laughing as I have been. That really is the fun part of this job for me.
Well, I am definitely laughing and pretty hysterically on a regular basis too.
Good. That's all I can do. That's all I can try for.
And this is how I found Vanessa, by the way. Just I followed her on Instagram and I have been laughing hysterically ever since, and it's fantastic. So just go follow Subversive Sisters on Instagram because it's just so entertaining. But how in the heck did you get into this? Like, what is it about like China and then putting all of the swears on the China that did it for you?
Honestly, I really stumbled into it. Like, I really wish I could tell you I had some master plan, but I didn't. I had seen something similar, but it was like a really like witchy, satanic kind of vibe, which was cool in itself. It's just like not for me.
Yeah.
And one day I literally just went to a thrift store and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something for a girlfriend's birthday. So I made her a plate with, of course, I put my little sprinkle of fox on it. And it just took off. I posted it on, I think, my Facebook or something, just to be like,
Yeah.
what I got up to this weekend. And it was insane. It was nuts, like the amount of people that were like, oh my God, like, I love this. Can you make me one? And it should have been harder than it was, honestly. But it's been keeping me busy ever since then. And I'm so thankful because it took off right before COVID, like
Yeah.
a couple weeks, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I just had my son. So
Yeah.
it was just like, what am I doing now? It's just me and him. And I did hair for a really long time. I still do hair, but obviously not with a toddler in tow. It's a little bit it's tough, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was very thankful that it gave me an avenue to kind of go down to obviously bring income in, but still do something that was genuinely me?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And also at the beginning of COVID too, I'm sure that was a bit of a relief.
Yeah, for sure. Most
Yeah.
definitely. And I mean, obviously COVID, horrible, fuck. Like, really, what can you say about that? But I kind of went to the online platforms. Like, I had, thank goodness, a family member that could build websites. So I was just like, you know
Oh,
what? If
awesome.
I'm stuck at home, I'll
Yeah.
go from here? And everyone else was as bored as me, it seemed, at home. So it was great online shopping?
Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, your content was like just probably perfectly timely.
Oh, yeah.
Like all this bullshit that's happening. Here's
Like,
all of
okay,
the
guys,
words.
angry? We can make that into humor. Yeah.
How long has your sense of humor been like all of the swear words and
Oh my
everything?
goodness. I definitely was always in always in trouble as a child. Like, it's as long as I can remember. And it's terrifying because I see my son. My son just turned 5, and we definitely, as a mom, I know who I am. So I'm like, well, we're gonna swear in this house, but as long as you keep it in the house. So he's very good in knowing, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
when is appropriate, because I guess he knows what's appropriate too, and he makes his own decisions there. But they're gonna hear things, they're gonna see things, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
What can you do?
Well, I've always thought it was kind of absurd that like a four-letter word could cause so much damage,
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
right?
To
And
be
then
fair though, I feel like people are getting a little
better.
bit more lax. Yeah, for sure.
I
Which
think
is
so.
fantastic.
I think so. That's true. So
They have
how did
sorry,
go
go ahead.
ahead.
They have other things to focus on now. No.
So when you were like getting in trouble as a kid for all of the swears, like what types of things were you doing? Like were you making jokes and stuff? And then like how do you keep it going into adulthood without like being like, oh no, we don't swear?
Yeah. I was a witty kid,
Yeah.
like always getting very close to boundaries with like,
Yeah.
sticking my toe in and being like, oh, but I didn't touch you, almost like that, but with my, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was frustrating for everyone around me, but yeah, I don't know. My personality has not really changed. If anything, I'm like, oh, I'm an adult now, apparently, so I do what I want. But I don't know. Growing up, I had a crazy upbringing, but I was raised by a lot of different people. My grandparents, my aunts and uncles took part too. So I got a little bit of like I would call it seasoning
Yeah.
from everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know if it was like being around my grandparents that gave me like I don't know, like an old soul in parts
Yeah.
of me, but I don't know. I don't know. It's like being able to not really care what people think, but know what you cannot say to like still keep people's respect, if that makes sense?
How do you find that goes in day-to-day life? Are you conscious like regularly about what you're
Oh, I
saying?
have
Yeah.
to. I have to be. Yeah. Like, I mean, to the like I don't really edit myself, I would say, but I mean if I'm at the school, we
Yeah.
gotta
Oh
hold it
yeah.
down a little
Right.
bit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, we gotta hold it down a little bit. But yeah, like I said, I feel like you can still be who you who you are.
Mhm.
And I think there's a difference in like offending people on purpose and people being offended because of their opinion. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
as long as I'm not saying anything directly to you to make you
Yeah.
feel a certain way, it's a sense of
Yeah.
humor thing, and that's how I've always looked at it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I love
Sounds
so
like
how
a
do you
you problem.
I have been using that line a few times in recent history.
Yeah,
Personally, I've been doing, and I've been saying this on the podcast, so hopefully people have heard this. I've been doing a lot of work on myself. It seems to me that, like, when we're having trouble, when we're like feeling depressed, anxious, whatever, it's always like because we want to do one thing, but we're trying to force ourselves to do something else.
life
And
life is a lot easier when you realize that you don't actually have to do that.
yeah, and you don't have to care what other people think about you, which we're told for our entire lives. But
Mhm.
when it actually sinks in that you actually don't have to give a flying fuck what people think about you, it's like, oh,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
that's pretty freeing.
I know. I
Yeah.
just learned that not too long ago. Um, but for sure, I think that caring about people and caring
Mhm.
what people think are two very different things?
I like that.
Yeah. Mhm.
Very, very true. So, how do you deal with that in your business? Because I know that you go to markets and everything. So, tell us about, obviously you have the online component and the social media, and we will get into that part, which I'm sure will
Yeah.
be a fun bag of worms. But what
Yeah.
about when you're at a market, your old traditional sort of sales tactics? What's
So,
that like?
yeah, it's definitely for me, my favorite thing about markets, hands down, are the double takes because they rock my world. It's
Yeah,
fantastic, you know?
yeah,
And then also shout out to the markets that will have me because it's a lot harder to find, like I don't sell keychains. You know
yeah,
what I mean? But
yeah.
I've really thankfully come into contact with a lot like a good group of people. And I think too, when they realize that yes, like what I sell can be vulgar and there's swearing, but me as a person, Like, I think that I'm a really like people think I don't know if they think that I'm mean in person or that's what they expect. But I'm like, oh no, I'm funny and like come on over. Like
Yeah.
my booth is always the one that people are just laughing and we're talking like we're friends, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's almost just like getting used to the water once they've met me and you
Yeah.
know, it's fine. Every once in a while at a market, yeah, for sure. I'll have someone that will walk by and you can see it in their face. Not often, surprisingly, will anyone actually say something negative to me. Also, might be the appearance. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I'll get a look. But that's pretty much it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's okay at the markets. Online, of course, you people are get brave behind their computers, but
Oh yeah, for
that
sure.
yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
what's the saying? Water off a duck's back?
Something like that.
Yeah, well, you know.
Hello, ridiculously happy people. I'm interrupting this regularly scheduled content to ask you for a little favor. If this pod has made you laugh, inspired you, or made you think, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a moment of our shenanigans. And don't be shy. Share the love by leaving a rating and a review. It's like a virtual high five that helps introduce the show to more ridiculously happy people and helps keep me on track with content that you actually want to hear. So grab your device, unless you're driving, tap that subscribe button, give us a 5-star rating, and write a little review about what you think about this episode. Your support means the world to me. And we're back in 3, 2, 1. I wonder, for the people who are not watching video, you do have like piercings and tattoos and stuff. And I wonder how many people like don't even look at your stuff and they look at you and they're like, she's selling China.
Oh, 100%. I get those looks too. It's like I love to watch people's reactions to everything and anything in life. Like I am a hardcore people watcher, you know?
Yeah.
And I stand behind my booth and I watch the faces change. And at this point, I've done so many markets that
Yeah.
I know what it is
Yeah.
within their like 5 feet from my table, you know? I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah.
gonna be good. This person looks gonna come laugh, or this person
Yeah.
is give me a wide berth,
Yeah.
you know? So yeah. But I think that's an advantage to be able to like read people like that, you
Yeah.
know your
Yeah.
audience and such.
Do you ever have to tell people it's a joke?
No, I'm pretty. They know. They know.
Good. That's excellent. Oh my goodness. So how do you deal with the social media stuff then? Like how often are you getting people like just straight up commenting like on a reel? Like this is so distasteful.
So it used to be a lot more actually, and I don't know if it's the pure fact that people know that I don't give a shit
Yeah.
anymore. They're just like wasting their time. But my guess is that's probably not the reason. I think that the biggest bully on Instagram and social media is the platforms themselves.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of people that they already know might have an issue with things aren't
Oh
seeing
yeah.
it. And that's fine for me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Because for the most part, I might get a few comments that I'm just like, really, you took the time out of your day to say that? Okay, well, did you read the plate?
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
But I think it comes down to like being really like who you are. That shit doesn't bother me. It doesn't anymore, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't. And the amount of people that I have kind of on my platform that are like-minded and are just like good people with a sense of humor, it really makes up for it. Like anything anyone negative, or anything that anyone could say to me that was negative, it's forgotten so quickly, you know? Yeah.
Are you finding that when people do say something negative, are there other people who are like, yeah, fuck off?
Oh, I'll sit here
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, cause I mean, I have a decent amount of followers, but I'm just me. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
if some people think that this is like I would say a real business. You know what I mean, right? Like, it's just
Yeah.
me in my kitchen making funny plates, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so when I see sometimes my followers will kind of, it always sounds weird to say my followers, but they'll interact with the person, we'll call it interacting. And I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that's cute. they're standing up for me. But to be honest, I'm like, oh, but let's not. I almost feel bad because I'm like, they're gonna come at you twice as hard because they're my people, you know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
for sure.
sometimes I'm like, just leave him alone, guys. Like he's probably lonely at home. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, definitely.
yeah,
Definitely is.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of time for like hate. You know what I mean? That's really what it comes down to.
How
Yeah.
did you get to that point? Like, how did you get to this point in life where you're like, fuck it, I'm funny and I'm going to be funny and fuck it?
Honestly, like I feel like a lot of it was like survival. Like I've been through some crazy things and like lived a life. And I feel like if I wasn't able to find humor in things and just like let shit go, I'd go crazy. You know what I mean? Like there's so much even in like even if you had a happy go lucky, like there's just so much going on in everyone's life that if you're not able to find the humor in things, I don't know how you would survive, really. So,
Yes.
yeah.
I, I don't know if you follow any reality TV, but I do a lot of it. And this is something that drives me nuts is half the time these I watch a lot of the Real Housewives,
Mhm.
basically all of them. Half the time they're arguing it's because someone said one word at one point and now there's this big argument about it that's like kind of hard to follow because because you're
You're just
like,
what
but
is
it
this thing
wasn't
about?
that big of a deal. Yeah, like why are you fighting about this? That wasn't a thing. And then people are fighting about it. It's like I could get cut off in traffic and I could be angry for the next 48 hours. You know, like we could be pissed off about any little thing in life that we want to. It is a lot nicer to just laugh at shit. Is it not?
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Or like, I don't know. My girlfriends think I'm crazy because like it's I don't know. So it's human reaction. You're gonna get pissed at
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's what you do with that, you know? Like I don't have road rage per se, but I like to ask people questions loudly from my car, hoping that
Yeah.
they hear me, you know? But I don't know. And I've got crazy ADHD too. So it's like
Yeah.
I'll make up a song about how dumb they're driving while I'm driving. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm I don't know why my brain does the things that it does, but I'm okay for it. I'm okay with it because then it's gone and I'm not dwelling on most things, you know?
That sounded like a pretty entertaining and productive way to deal with road rage, actually.
You know
Other
what I mean?
people's, I mean.
Trust me,
Yeah.
next time you'll find yourself doing it because I just said
Yeah.
it.
I might
Yeah.
have to sing it like a minion. I do like doing that.
I mean,
Like the
that
sound.
I feel like that would make it 10 times better. Maybe I'll do it next.
Exactly,
Now
right?
you gave me that
Yeah.
idea, you know?
Let me know what you think. Because whenever I sing like a minion, I laugh hysterically at myself.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
pretty entertaining.
I almost want to laugh right now and nobody's even doing it yet.
Just imagining it in your head, aren't you?
Pretty great.
Yeah. Can you imagine if someone heard you though? Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I feel like do you want to go for a drive right now?
kind of. Oh man. So like, how do you like decompress through the day then? Is it just like one big decompression for you all the time? Like,
It's strange. I don't know if it's just me or if it's like owning a small business, but some days I wake up and I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's Monday. I'm super excited to
yeah.
work on my stuff." And other days it's a struggle. Like I am
Yep.
on the struggle bus, you
Yep.
know? And I mean it's a creative thing too. I feel like some days it's just like, well, nothing's
Yep.
happening. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure.
So really, I don't know. It's in a regular day, it's I'm just gonna do what gives me joy in that moment. If I'm gonna go on some manic thing and make 50 plates in a day or a million reels that like some days are really tough to do, you
Yeah. Yeah.
know? That's that day. And the next day, if I don't feel like it, well, that's what it is. You know what I mean? I try not to beat myself up over things. I think that's really the important part. And the thing to remember is to kind of like give yourself grace and
Mhm.
every day, you know?
Yeah.
Anyone that wakes up and says that every day is a good day. I feel like he's a fucking liar, but
Yeah, for sure.
just find the little things in a day, even on a tough day, find something small. It could be like a good cupcake. I don't know. It's the little things though, you know what I mean?
No, I'm totally with you. Like, I'm sure that your son gives you like all sorts of material all the time.
Oh yeah, 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 for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
And like,
Worse than me. Half the things like he'll say something, I'll be like, oh my God, I can't post that. For me to see that?
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Where do you like get your ideas from? I saw your reel the other day with the lizard, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. I
Do
mean,
you like, first of all, do you have a lizard? Is this your lizard?
yeah, that's my lizard. Yeah, he's grumpy as shit though. So like
His
it's
face,
a toss up. Yeah.
don't do it.
He's old as dirt. So I mean, even though he's mine, it's still questionable petting him. I'm like, we
Yeah.
good today? I don't know. Like it's strange. Some days I'll just like I said, some days I'll sit here and think of nothing. And then other times I'll be like, this is gonna like it'll just be there. Sometimes I'll see something that really has nothing to do with what I do, but I'm like, oh, I could swing that.
Yeah.
Which I mean, if it comes off to you guys as funny from jump, great. But the fact that I know that I just turned it into maybe it was like an retirement home commercial and I turned it into
Yep.
something to do with my business, it's extra funny for me.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, like I said, I don't know. Sometimes it's a tough go, and other times I'm like, "Whoop, we got this today. We're
Yeah.
pumped, firing on all pistons.
I'm getting the impression that our brains work reasonably similar in that I remember one time I was in a job interview and this guy apparently was just trying to get me to say that I was creative if it
Yeah.
was going to kill him.
Mm.
He's like, how do you come up with these things? I'm like, I don't know. They just happen.
It's in my
Just
brain.
come out of me. Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
just do it. He's like, so you're creative. I'm like, well, sure, but I don't think of myself creative. This is just how I be. You think
You
I'm
know what this
creative?
thing says to me in a day? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
call it creative. That's fine. I call it a bunch of things. Creative might be one of them, but
And you obviously have like a very eclectic visual style, which
Mm.
is sounding like it probably matches the insides.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I have a lot of fun, like the thrift stores and your grandma's attic. Like it's pretty much my favorite places to be.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have the one style of plate that kind of is like just a regular, your dinnerware. And
Yeah.
that's great because it's like large area you can work with. But my new thing I really like doing lately is I'll go in and find like the picture plates.
Yeah.
Like and I'll look at them and I'll be like, oh no, it's missing this. This needs to be this. And
Yeah.
stuff like that is crazy to me because I'll look at the plate and I'll see it right away.
Yeah.
And I'll be
Yeah.
like, you're coming home with me. It's funny. I'll just start laughing at nothing. I must look crazy now that I'm saying it out loud, like just standing there in the thrift aisle, laughing at a plate.
If no one listening to this has like ever just laughed
For no reason.
for what it seems like no reason,
Yeah. I do
like
it.
everyone does that for sure.
Yeah.
But if they're thinking about putting swear words on a plate, that I don't know.
Yeah. Probably not. They might now. I don't know. I feel like sometimes when you hear things out loud, you're like, oh, yeah, that sounds fine. Maybe I should go giggle at something in a thrift aisle.
Well, and it's interesting too, because let's face it, like all of this, old school vintage China is going the heck out of style. Like people are not buying that to like drink their tea out of anymore.
Yeah.
So frankly, you're basically repurposing an entire
I'm saving the
industry.
world.
Basically, yeah.
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 Saving the environment. Yeah, and that aspect of it, like I find really amazing. Like I've had people give me their china because like they don't want it. Okay.
Yeah,
They'll
for
give me
sure.
the china and then buy a plate back. And I'm like, let me just make this for you. Like, you know what I mean? And that to me is fantastic. Like I get
Yeah.
that people don't. I mean, look at the places we're living in now. Like they've kind of
Yeah.
gotten much smaller as well. So not everyone has
For
a
sure.
a huge china cabinet that they can display, So, and a lot of people I find too, I'll hear my dog might make an appearance here.
Yes.
They, because it is real vintage china, they'll see a piece and be like, "Oh, that was my nan's pattern."
Oh, yeah.
It, like, reminds them of their nan, but is funny now.
That's kind of hysterically cute, actually. And let's face the facts. Like, how many of these people actually, like, for reals, like, their grandparents were like swearing machines? Because that's just life. Well, hello there.
I know, right? It's like, "What's going on?" Are you good, dog? All right. This is Cash.
Sorry, what's his name?
Cash.
Cash.
Yeah,
He's like, I'm here for you, Mom.
I know. He's my moral support. I'm good though, really.
And he's staring at you too.
I know.
Oh, he's cute. So, like, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, that's enough. Lay down.
How do we like help people recognize that they can just do their own thing? Like, this is a different kind of business that you have created. Most people legit would not think like, no, I could actually go and put some words on, some old china and put it out there in the world, which is unfortunate. People put up a lot of limits for themselves. How do we get them out of these stupid limits and like just doing what they want to do?
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I don't know if it's just how people are, I don't know, they're like stuck in this headspace where they're scared to, I don't want to say like speak up for themselves, but it's like you can be who you want to be. And I don't know. I've always said you don't have to be friends with everyone. You know what I mean? If they're not your people, they're not your people.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to filter yourself or not, I don't know, compromise your happiness because you're scared of what other people are going to think. That's crazy to me,
Yeah.
It's nuts. And I feel like just try it, guys. Try it once. You know what I mean? Like it'll blow your mind when you're just like,
Yeah.
no, I'm going to do this. And like the world doesn't implode,
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, it's I don't know. It doesn't have to be big things either. Like just
Yeah.
do what makes you feel good or, it's
Yeah,
hard
sure.
to try and explain it out loud. You know what I mean?
I hear you because I think once you kind of understand it, it's like, no, like do the things that make you happy. But like before you get to that point, you hear
Yeah.
like do the things that make you happy. And you're like, yes, I get it. I'll
Yeah.
take a vacation in a few months. Leave me
Mhm.
alone.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of entertaining how that works. But
Mhm.
yeah,
It's like a whole different world out there.
I know. I
Yeah.
know. Well, and I have this theory that it totally makes sense that you wanted everyone in your community to like you like a few thousand years ago, right? Because there was barely anyone in your community, even. But like these days, it is so impractical for you to expect everyone around you to like you if that's what you're going for.
Yeah.
You're never going to get there. You're just going to stress yourself out because there's just too many damn people around.
For sure. And I feel like I said, not everyone's gonna like you. We're just not built that way. Some people aren't compatible. You know what I mean? But there's a difference in what are you scared of? You're scared of they're not gonna like you and you're gonna
Hmm.
fight in the schoolyard. Like it's okay to not like someone and give them their space or whatever,
Yeah. If
I'm
you don't
sure
like someone, yeah, you don't have to like go after them. Yeah.
exactly. Someone can, maybe you're just not someone's cup of tea. See what I did there? But yeah, that's you have, I'm sure everyone has a circle of friends that you really like, and the other
Yeah.
people are kind of, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Out of
Mhm.
curiosity, how are you teaching your son not to swear in inappropriate circumstances?
Um, Surprisingly, I was concerned, but he's a smart cookie,
Yeah.
and for me, I swear a lot. I'm surprised at how good I'm doing on this podcast right now.
You can swear all you want.
I know
It's
that, and it's
explicit. You
almost
can
like
fucking do it.
because you're telling me that, I'm like, oh well, maybe I won't. I don't know. Never let them know
That might
you're.
be it. That might be it.
Hey, listen up. Tamara here from the Clean It Club podcast interrupting. Sorry, not sorry. I just wanted to let you know that if you love this podcast, you might just love the Clean It Club as well. We are all about deep cleaning our lives from the inside out, digging those skeletons out of our closets and letting go of what no longer serves us. So roll up your sleeves, dust off those life lessons, and join me and my friends as we learn how to navigate our way to a life with more love, more laughter, and maybe less piles of laundry. Find the Clean It Club podcast on Spotify.
I'm Lauren Best, and in my podcast, I have conversations with compelling creatives and answer your questions. I dive into what I've learned as a voice coach and performance poet, and share why over 15 years of music leadership has shaped my collaborative approach. I reveal how I've reawakened my own creativity. Subscribe to my new show, Lauren's Best, wherever you get your podcasts. Join me on Substack for exclusive bonus content, laurenbest.substack.com.
Hi, I'm Becky Waples, the host of the Small Towns Big Dreams podcast. The podcast that celebrates small town creators and shares their stories. From their background to where they found their courage, from their challenges to their wins, from where they found their inspiration to how they took their first step. Join us each week to hear how each guest turned their big dreams into reality. If you are a creator, an entrepreneur, or love someone who is, subscribe now to the Small Towns Big Dreams podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and let's grow together.
But like he obviously hears me speaking, and my friends, they all know what it is too. So old dog, he'll he's so grumpy. He'll say things, but he knows, he'll kind of come up to me and he'll be like sheepishly say it. And I'm like, okay, but you're a kid. I can say what I want. I'm an adult. You're a kid. So where do we say that? And he goes, at home, like anything he's going to say to me, I'm going to be like, whatever, kid, like I'll come for you one day.
It's true.
Yeah. And, it's strange. To be honest with you, I can't really give you like a straight up answer for that, because it's almost just like he just knows,
Yeah.
Maybe he's scared of me, which I feel too. It's a fine line, No, I'm kidding. He likes me. But yeah, no, I don't know. He's never really given me issues yet being the emphasis there. But
Well, it's interesting because you've obviously had conversations with him about it, right? And like, there's a difference. I find that kids, when they're like, not behaving so well in public, usually it's a sign of they're not getting those conversations at home necessarily. So
yeah. Mason and I talk a lot. Like he's a funny kid. But I don't know. Surprisingly, like I like my kid. He's cool, but I'm not a big kid person. I'll say it out loud. I don't care. But I respect the little people. I'm like, hey guys, what's up? But I've always talked to Mason like he's an adult. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'll sit him down and be like, okay, it's time to chat,
Yeah. I think that usually goes pretty well. Like whenever I'm working with kids, I honestly find that if I talk to them like they're an adult, they're more likely to be like, oh, okay. Like I'll be like, can you do me a favor? Like, can you go over here and do this? And they're like, oh, I have a job. They get really serious about it. It works really well. That's awesome.
Yeah. So thank goodness. No, smooth sailing as of at this point in time. So
far so good.
Mm.
So like, do you have any stories of like people just not understanding or like being offended or like anything that has stuck out in your mind?
So I haven't like, yes, tons, but I guess the one that And it's strange because I didn't really even have to interact with this person, but I remember a few years ago, because I do have my stuff in some stores kind of
Yeah.
here and there.
Yeah.
And I had this one shop owner that sought me out, actually. And I'm always like, you know what this is, right? Because I'm bring the spicy stuff. Like, you're not just gonna get the don't fuck the kitchen up, you know what I mean? Like, so I had my stuff in there and it was going great. And I guess she had gotten a customer that was like, oh my God. Like,
oh geez.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So after my first couple months in there, which were fantastic, I was kind of like, huh, what's going on in this store? You know, like the sales just aren't what they've been. Let me go check it out, you know?
Yeah.
So I remember, and I am who I am. So I'll just roll up. I'll be like, hey, come to check on shit, you know? Then I remember, I guess, I don't even know. She seemed a little bit kind of concerned, whatever this customer had said to her, but this poor lady, she had like, had like Post-it notes stuck over the top of all the paper. Like, okay, this is not gonna work, you know? I'm like, what did they say to you? Like, I have solutions. You need bullet points. Like, it's one person. Come on, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Needless to say, I was like, well, we're not gonna edit them. So if it's not for you, just let me know now.
That's really funny. Is your plan to go like full time with this? And to
well, for the most part, I am. Yeah. Like I find that like social media has been a really important tool for me, but just like everything, social media I find has changed a lot. I would say even over like the last 6 months. I'm finding that the ups and downs are different. You never really know what it is though. Like it could be the audience. You never really know, right? So I kind of switch from being more online to I'll switch it up and go put more stuff in stores, you know? So I kind of play with it and just kind of, you know, do more markets in a month or whatever. So I'm always here. I'm always here working. It's just what am I going to focus on this month, you know?
Yeah.
Which is
well,
great.
you mentioned that you're still doing hair as well.
Yeah. So and that's purely my clients. I've done hair for like 15 years.
Yeah.
And my clients won't let me stop. So
okay.
that's really what that is.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah. So hey guys, like everything's good. Still here. Don't worry. But I love them though. We have a good time doing that as well, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Good clients are awesome.
Therapy is a real thing, you know?
I like that. Do you have any like recommendations for people who are like trying to start out business with social media and everything, and like what to expect? Or are you finding, are there any strategies that you're using that are working particularly well for you? Because you do, like, you're very entertaining and you obviously have the sass vibe to you, but you're very open as well.
Honestly, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
A lot of people, once again, it always kind of goes back to like what people are going to think about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure if you've seen some of my reels, I literally look like I just rolled out of bed, because that's generally this is not what,
That's perfect.
you know. I don't like really dress myself up for social media, and I always find that those interactions are always the best, because people relate. You know what I mean? If I'm like, hey. Today is a shit day, but like I'm still here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
People get that. You know what I mean? So it's I don't want to say try less, but be yourself. Like just be authentic, you know?
Yep. And if you're afraid to be yourself, then just go look at Vanessa's Instagram page. That should help.
Or reach out. Honestly, like I get a lot of people that DM me, and small business owners, and it's the internet is a strange place, like just like we were talking about, like there's a lot of people that kind of like to throw shade or negative and blah blah blah, but not me. Like honestly, I feel like it's the internet. There's a bajillion people out there, you know. I don't look at other small businesses as competition. You know what I mean? We're all out here. There's more than enough people. We're all completely fucking different. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So like I've had people send me DMs like, oh, well, not the exact same thing, but I'm wanted to make sweary cards or something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Should I be concerned, or kind of the same questions you're asking me? How do I deal with people that like
Yeah.
offended? You know,
Yeah.
and I love that, like,
Yeah.
because they're gonna get the same answer. They're gonna be like, "Go, run that swearing mouth," you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be yourself, if that's who it is. But yeah, I'm always here, and I mean, when do we not really have our phones? So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
So, oh man. And if they're scared, and it's like, I get, yeah, be yourself.
Like, you know?
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's a tough one because you basically just have to get the heck out of your way. Like,
What's gonna happen?
well,
What's gonna happen?
yes.
You
What
know?
is going to happen? Probably nothing.
Exactly. I'm out here testing the waters for us all, so don't worry.
It's true. It's
Something
true.
can go wrong, or I will find it and report back. But I don't know. For the most part, I'm unapologetic, and people. I have internet friends, so you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you'd be surprised. You know,
Yeah.
find your crowd, or they'll find you. Whatever comes first, you know.
And the other thing is, if you go and you start making like sweary cards and you start putting them out there and you're like, this doesn't feel good, maybe sweary things are not for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
A little fox and be like, see, I couldn't say it, but.
So what should we know about you other than you have tattoos and piercings and sweary china and a lizard and
I don't know. Crazy.
you be yourself?
Yeah. I don't know, really. I mean, just like one person here doing my thing, and maybe take that point. You know what I mean? Like you can do whatever the hell you want to do, and I find that as long as you are yourself while you're doing it, I wake up happy every day. And let's not get to a sad around. I'm happy with my life. Being who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm just a single mom here doing what makes me happy.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. And by the way, for those who can't see the video, Vanessa has a pillow behind her that says "Be happy."
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, this will work.
Yeah,
I don't have
it does.
many things in my house that for happy people podcast, but I found one.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay. Do you have a ridiculously happy moment for us?
Yeah. So like we were talking about, I do markets, and I try my best not to preempt people's what I'm going to get in return from people, reactions, whatever. But I did one not so long ago, and I saw these two little senior ladies walking, and I'm like, oh God, here we go. And I found myself kind of judging, like, oh, I'm gonna get beat up by this little man, you know. She's gonna be not happy with me. But if I told you that these two women were louder than me, which does not happen very often. Oh, dog, that's enough. They came by the table and they were like, oh, I've had this pattern. They were loud. They were sweary for sure. And honestly, because these two little old ladies were just who they were unapologetically, like, I don't know if you've ever heard that, though I always get it mixed up. Is it like the ladies with the red hats and the purple dresses, or the purple hats and the red dresses? Have you heard of them?
No idea. No, I have no idea.
Okay, well, that's your homework. You gave me homework.
Yeah,
Homework.
I'm
Come
getting
up.
some.
It must have been part of these ladies, right? But if these two women, like, having that reaction, they drew other people to the table, you know? And if I just went off face value, I would have I don't even know, you know?
Yeah.
But they got so much joy. And I know I'm biased, but like they had a great time at my table. It was so much fun to watch them, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, it's gonna be me and my girlfriend when we're old, you
Yeah,
know?
for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
love that.
Fantastic. Made me happy.
And also, I think kind of a lesson for people that we all judge.
Mhm. Yeah. Sometimes not even meaning to, you know?
I do it all the time. Constantly judging. Often people's driving. Often judging people's driving.
Yeah. Can you do the minion voice, please? Do it. It
What
will
should
make
I say?
I don't know.
Man. I'm gonna have to think of something.
Put you on the spot. Ah, you were also
I kind of need like a song to be going because it ends up being like half of it's like not words coming out.
I know. It's kind of like it almost sounds like they're speaking a mix
Yeah.
of like Portuguese and gibberish.
I know, right? I'll try to do this. I have one of our questions here on my screen, so I'll try to just read the question as a minute.
Let me swallow my coffee first.
If I could even do it.
I stumped the chump. Here we go.
Kind of happens naturally when I'm like singing in the car, but breaking away from how do you navigate any criticism or pushback you may encounter you to unconventional answer of your bit? Did you understand any of that?
Speechless, but also thoroughly entertained. We could like yeah, we need Google translations.
It gets really absurd in the car when I'm
That
singing.
was fantastic. You did that. You did well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
dog has its own voice.
Oh yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. All
Sounds
the
remarkably like that one.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's a really good, ridiculously happy moment, I think. Also, because I'm picturing like two little old ladies just like swearing up a storm.
You know? Brenda and Karen. And I made them laugh. So hey, winning.
It's always the little old ladies who are just so like done. They're just like
you know what? I have one more quick one to tell you.
Yes.
So through COVID, I was also helping to look after my grandparents. Okay.
Yes.
And this is also just a funny thing in itself. I would make these plates next to my nan. And she would just be like, oh my God. But by the end of it, my shipping boxes, I have like custom stamps.
Yeah.
So my shipping stamps say fragile as fuck. Okay.
Yes.
Boom. And if you're shipping a certain amount, I've got a hatchback. I can't fit a lot in my car. I would get to come and pick up.
Yeah.
So one day I had them all by the front door, and my little nan kind of goes to answer the door to let the mailman take them in. She goes, "Careful, they're fragile as fuck." And I was like, "Yes, that's me winning at life." It made me so happy, so happy. And she doesn't swear. So the fact that she said that, I was like, yes. Mic drop.
Why did she say that? Did you ask her? Were you like,
no,
what happened?
She was genuinely concerned. She had to let him know, like, the boxes are fragile as fuck. Be careful, you know? I was flabbergasted. But
that is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
That is really good. Look at you making a difference.
That's the little things, you know, I do what I can.
That's fantastic. Oh, man. Well, my ridiculously happy moment is just that I played ball on the weekend, softball, and coincidentally, there was a lot of swearing going on.
Yeah. Wait, you're Snowy? You're playing softball?
Yeah.
No?
In a dome.
Oh, I was like,
yeah. Yeah, no, I've done that before. It's a totally different thing, and it's mostly just trying to keep water out of your shoes.
No doubt. Yeah.
So where can people find you, Vanessa, and all of your pretty plates?
Yes, it's the most options are online at subversivesisters.ca. And also, if there's anything that you guys can think of that you'd like to make that I haven't already thought of, I do a ton of custom things. And it's really the custom orders that blow my mind sometimes. I'm like, wow. But yeah, and I'm in a couple stores up in Newmarket, Maker's Mark.
Yeah.
around, but online primarily, really.
That's
Come,
awesome.
come pop on my Instagram and say hello.
Yeah.
I wanna-
Well, yeah.
You guys make me happy. So
Yeah.
mhm.
And you are actually nice to people.
I'm nice. Yeah. Like if I'm mean, it's because you deserve it. Like, let's be honest, and it doesn't happen often, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Or you're kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. This is awesome. Thank you so much, Vanessa.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Hey guys, Leah Van Dolder here from the episode titled Make Healthy Choices with Leah Van Dolder, which you can find on Sophia's podcast here. I was asked to share a ridiculously happy moment from my life, and recently I learned how to surf. So that was definitely a ridiculously happy moment, hitting those waves. But you know what else I really found amazing about that experience was just falling in love with the process of learning how to surf. Because let's be serious, it's not easy. And I think it's such a great life lesson. Anything that we're working towards, our health, our fitness, feeling awesome in our body, it's a process. And respecting and falling in love and having appreciation for the good days and the not so great days, but also acknowledging all the growth that you are making along your journey.
That's a wrap on this episode. I'm Sophia Lemon. I photograph ridiculously happy people, and you can find me at sophialemon.com, at ridiculouslyhappyppl on Instagram, and on Facebook and Pinterest. Has someone made you smile recently? Or maybe you're feeling proud of an achievement, or perhaps something just absurd or embarrassing has happened and you can't stop laughing about it. Head over to happyp.pl/record and tell us your ridiculous story. You may hear it on the next episode of the Ridiculously Happy People Cast. And if you've loved this episode but aren't ready to shout it from the rooftops, subscribing and leaving us a rating and a review will make us ridiculously happy. You can do that right in your podcast app. Thanks for listening. Until next time, stay happy, and remember, life's short, but there's always plenty of time to be ridiculously happy.